जय गुरु जी संगत जी। सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि गुरु जी की महिमा का जितना बखान करो उतना कम है, और वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ देते हैं, और हमें बस वो हमसे सिर्फ एक चीज़ एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, सेवा, सिमरन और सत्संग। किसी का दिल नहीं दुखाएं और अच्छे कर्म करें। ही इज़ so kind, he is so loving, और आई वुड से वो बहुत प्यार करते हैं अपनी संगत को। तो आई वुड स्टार्ट विद द थिंग दैट he started giving me messages from last year. So I am associated with one of the groups on Facebook wherein I read a message that तू अपने सत्संग शेयर कर। तो मैं हालांकि कर नहीं पाई क्योंकि रूटीन ऐसा रहता है, स्केड्यूल ऐसा रहता है, बट ये दिमाग में मेरे बात थी कि करना है, कभी करना है तो बात वो वहाँ ख़त्म हो गई। हालांकि मैं अभी लिखने बैठूं तो आई एम श्योर पूरी बुक तो नहीं, बट एटलीस्ट काफ़ी पेजेस मैं भर पाऊंगी अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस से जो गुरुजी के साथ हुए। तो लास्ट ईयर ऐसा हुआ। फिर इस साल फिर से मैं मैसेजेस काफ़ी मुझे मिलने लगे फ्रॉम वेरियस सोर्सेज की जो सत्संग करता है उसको भी ब्लेसिंग मिलती है, और वो जो सत्संग सुनता है उसको भी ब्लेसिंग मिलती है। अब किसके लिए क्या बेनिफिशियल है वो सिर्फ गुरुजी जानते हैं। हमारा काम है सत्संग शेयर करना, और इनफैक्ट वो और डीप हो गया थॉट when one of the very sweet sangats approached me directly and requested me to record my experiences, and hence therefore I'm ready with all my experiences, and I would like to start narrating it very soon. गुरुजी मुझे माफ़ करना कहीं भूल चूक हो जाए पूरी नरेशन में, और बिना टाइम इसमें लगाए लेट मी स्टार्ट। सो it so happened that my journey with Guruji started in May 2015. I had left a job in an MNC and I had started my own firm of healthcare consulting. Now मैं कभी सोच भी नहीं सकती थी, right? Because मैं जब से ever since I've started working मैं हमेशा जॉब में रही हूँ, और कभी सोचा ही नहीं था कि मैं अपनी कंपनी भी खोलूँगी और जो भी है। सो इट वाज अ स्टार्टअप, वो भी गुरुजी की ही कुछ प्लानिंग थी मेरी लाइफ में, एंड दैट वाज अगेन कैटेगोरिकली आई वुड लाइक टू एम्फसाइज ऑन द फैक्ट दैट दैट वाज हेल्थ केयर रिलेटेड firm that we opened. And then probably it was a base that Guruji was forming for me in terms of gaining more knowledge and expertise, because I had to come to US sometime later in 2018. तो गुरुजी आपके इवेंट्स प्लान करते हैं लाइफ में। सो हुआ क्या कि वन ऑफ द डॉक्टर्स, आई वुड से जनरल फिजिशियन, एक सीनियर लेडी थी who I had to recruit for my firm. She called me up one day to inquire about her joining in my firm, and she started narrating about her Guruji, about her guru, I would say. मेरे गुरु ऐसे हैं, मेरे गुरु वैसे हैं, and then by then I had no clue who Guruji was. All I would mention is that I was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva. मैं बहुत 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 मानती थी शिव जी को, पूरा विश्वास था उनमें। तो उन्होंने जब वो आंटी जी ने स्टार्ट किया कि हमारे गुरु ऐसे हैं वैसे हैं, छतरपुर में उनका मंदिर है, बहुत सुंदर है, बहुत कामनेस मिलती है, ये वो। एंड फिर उन्होंने एक लाइन बोली कि शिव जी, वो गुरु जी जो हैं वो हमारे शिव जी के अवतार हैं। तो मुझे ऐसा लगा, 1 मिनट के लिए अंदर से फील आई कि हो सकता है मैं बहुत दिनों से मैंने शिव जी के दर्शन नहीं किए, मैं मंदिर नहीं गई, मत्था नहीं टेका, तो हो सकता है शिव जी ने कहीं से मैसेज भिजवाया हो या कोई इंडिकेशन मुझे मिला हो कि मैं जाऊं, क्योंकि लाइक एनीवन वुड हैव दैट फर्स्ट थॉट अपॉन लिसनिंग अबाउट एनी गुरु, सेम थॉट्स मेरे दिमाग में आए कि पता नहीं कौन है गुरु जी और ये वो, like that first thought comes. तो जो मुझे क्लिक किया वो था शिव जी. So anyway, I planned the visit to the बड़े मंदिर छतरपुर, and I took my family. So in fact, when I was entering the main hall, पहले तो मैं आपको बताऊं, इतना सुंदर है मंदिर. जब मैंने वो देखा बड़ा सा शिवलिंग, तो मुझे एक सेंस ऑफ कामनेस आई और बहुत ही सीरीन लगा, वहां पहुंच के. I could feel that aura. So when I was entering the main hall and I was standing in the queue, my mom was standing just behind me. Suddenly एकदम मुझे एक रोज की खुशबू आती है, विफ सा आया. And मैंने एकदम से मम्मा को बोला, मम्मा वाओ, दिस इज सच अ ब्यूटिफुल स्मेल, आपको आई क्या रोजी फ्रेग्रेंस? सो शी इज लाइक नो, शी स्मेल्ड एंड उनको बिल्कुल नहीं आई. एंड देन आई समहाउ हैड दिस फीलिंग दैट वाओ, गुरुजी इज welcoming me. So, this was the first thing. Then, दूसरा इंसिडेंट ये हुआ कि चलो, उसके बाद से मैं जुड़ गई गुरुजी से और उनके बारे में मैंने और जानने की कोशिश करी, पढ़ा उनकी वेबसाइट पर, लोगों के सत्संग सुने और मैं धीरे धीरे जुड़ती चली गई. अब हुआ ये कि I came to US in 2016, but as a tourist visitor, because my brother is here, his family is here, and I just came to US all alone. Like my son and my husband was there in India. क्योंकि उसकी भी ये कहानी है कि उनका वीजा नहीं मिल रहा था. एंड देन दिस वाज माय थर्ड अटेम्प्ट कि अगर मैंने ये सोचा कि अगर मैं टूरिस्ट वीजा पे हो आऊं तो हो सकता है जब तक मैं नेक्स्ट टाइम जब हम अप्लाई करें इनके वीजा के लिए, हस्बैंड और सन के, तो इस बार रिजेक्ट ना हो, क्योंकि एक स्टैंप लग जाता है यूएस एंट्री का. सो अल्टीमेटली आई हैड टू कम अलोन, क्योंकि रिजेक्शंस पहले हस्बैंड और सन के हो चुके थे वीजा के, टूरिस्ट वीजा के. So I came here to have that look and feel और सब कुछ. And by the way, I had never planned to come to US. So what really happened was, मैं यहाँ से 2016 December में I came to US, November में I came to US, and January 2017 I was back to India. और इस दौरान ये 2-2.5 महीने जब मैं यहाँ US में थी, तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ऐसे ही my brother suggested, why don't you apply for H1B visa? And I was like, पता नहीं होता है नहीं होता, क्योंकि I had never thought of it. Anyway, so I went back, और दिमाग में तो बात आ चुकी थी कि वैसे बुराई नहीं है अप्लाई करने में, तो let's see what happens. अब होता क्या है कि one fine day I had a dream कि कोई पंडित जी हैं, कोई priest हैं, वो आते हैं और बहुत से उनके फॉलोअर्स हैं, एंड ही इज एंटरिंग इनटू अ टेंपल एंड आई एम आल्सो देयर. एंड मैं उनके जब पैर छूती हूँ और पैर छू के उठती हूँ, तो वो कहते हैं मुझे, तू बे एरिया अप्लाई कर. तो एकदम से मुझे क्लिक किया, वाओ, बे एरिया तो यूएस में है. एंड मॉर्निंग में व्हेन आई इंटरप्रेटेड दैट dream, I realized that it was Guruji who came in the form of that priest. And therefore, when I applied, everything went on track. Application got selected in the April lottery of 2017. And whereas I would like to mention that, it was Trump's era of governance, it had started, and there were tons of visa that were being rejected. But mine was approved, and it was actually a news to all my acquaintances and family. Now, what happened in July 2017, my father got detected with gallbladder cancer. I was devastated. And so where on one hand side, I was so happy with my H1B lottery selection, but that excitement died down soon after, hearing about my father. And we were told that we just had 6 to 9 months for my dad, and his treatment started, and, we were dealing with all of that. When suddenly my Chacha ji, who was more like my second father, he expired in September 2018. Again, he had critical illnesses, but he was, we never expected, suddenly he would just leave us like that. Our world shattered. Now, what next happens is, in the meantime, I was in my job, and एक छोटी सी मैंने job ले ली थी just to, catch up. And again, वो जो firm वाला था, वो थोड़े दिन business रहा और on and off उसमें projects आते थे, काम होता था. But I wanted a full-fledged job after some time, like 2018 की बात है ये. Sorry, 2017 में. So I took up a small job, and it was again publishing sector, totally out of my domain and expertise. Anyway, so हुआ ये कि job ले ली, and I incidentally, मेरी 2 cousins की marriage उसी बीच में पड़ गई. अब कैसे जाएं, जाना भी था क्योंकि बहुत दिन बाद फैमिली में शादी पड़ी थी. It was most awaited, long awaited marriage, and then somehow मैंने कुछ बहाने वगैरह मार के, and I just went off without informing my manager. और ये कंटिन्यूसली मेरे दिमाग में रहता था, oh my God, how will I justify my छुट्टी, when I'm back. And what happened is, the day I joined back, to my surprise, my manager called me, and then he just simply, mentioned that I must leave, and that, my salary and full and final payment will be done. तो ना मुझे वो बोलने की नौबत पड़ी, ना मुझे वो चांस मिला, which I was thinking कि मैं कैसे, how will I confront the manager. उसने खुद ही बुला के कर दिया. Now, जो उसके पीछे I would say गुरुजी की blessing थी, वो ये थी, maybe गुरुजी wanted me to spend more time with my father, because उनके पास time अब कम था, and his end was near. So anyway, वो 2 महीने नवंबर में ऐसा हुआ, and November onwards, 7th November I remember the date. I think उनका hospitalization हुआ. वो काफी I think he was for a month in the hospital. उनकी काफी हमने सेवा करी. तो मतलब whatever I could do, with all love and affection, जितनी सेवा मैंने जिंदगी में नहीं की, वो उस 1-1.5 महीने में मैंने I gave in all my best to my dad. And हुआ ये कि, and we were, by the way, we never lost hope all this while. हमें ये था कि लोग ठीक होते हैं, गुरुजी ने नई जिंदगी दी है, लोगों को ब्लेस करी है, तो हो सकता है, I had that positive thought till the end. But गुरुजी के कुछ और plans थे. So हुआ ये कि as I mentioned, I had full hopes. So, और also, why? Because गुरुजी काफी indications भी देते थे, like कभी rosy fragrance आ रही है hospital जाते समय, कभी हम रास्ते में हैं towards the hospital, तो सामने गाड़ी जा रही है जिसमें गुरुजी लिखा हुआ है, and it would follow us, till I would say till the hospital. तो ये कुछ चीजें, होती गई, तो एक उम्मीद बंधी थी. But all this continued, and finally डॉक्टर ने बोला कि नहीं, the day had arrived, और डॉक्टर ने बोला कि आप इनको घर ले जाएं, आप कुछ, because वो काफी बढ़ गया था अंदर, cancer had all proliferated inside his body. So जो भी है, सो वो उनको घर लाए 2 दिन पहले, and वो कहते हैं ना कि जो गुरुजी के अजीज होते हैं, उनको गुरुजी खुद लेने आते हैं और अपनी गोद में लेकर जाते हैं. तो वही हुआ. और जिस दिन on the day my father passed away, he was struggling with his last breaths, and then मेरी मदर ने खुद ही बोला कि बेटा जाओ गुरुजी का स्वरूप ले. I don't know उनको क्या फीलिंग हुई, और हमने उनका स्वरूप रखा गुरुजी का पापा के चेस्ट पे, and my father breathed his last breath. तो लेकिन मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि मेरे पापा ऊपर हैं गुरुजी के पास. ही इज हैप्पी देयर, एंड ही इज ब्लेसिंग अस अलोंग विद गुरुजी, एंड इट इज कमिंग टू अस इन द फॉर्म ऑफ लॉट ऑफ ब्लेसिंग्स. आई कैन फील दैट in my life. Now, what next happened was, so where in India all this was happening, I was getting a lot of pressure from US to come to US, as in the company who had filed my H1B was again US based. यहाँ it was a foreign firm, and उन्होंने पैसा लगाया था, तो that's why they were pressurizing me a lot कि आप जल्दी से आओ. वो तो हमने उनको रोक रखा था कि family, we were going through that trauma and tragic moments in our life, but why would they understand all of that? So anyway, यहाँ से pressure हो रहा था. Immediately after we completed my father's final rituals, we arrived to US, and a new life awaited for us. And slowly I got a big Guru Parivar circle here, bigger than the one I had thought, क्योंकि ये भी मेरे दिमाग में था कि कैसे होएगा. इंडिया में तो चलो बड़े मंदिर चले गए, कहीं इधर उधर सत्संग कर ले. US में कैसे होगा? How will I have people around me, Guru Parivar? But वो भी गुरुजी की ब्लेसिंग थी. धीरे धीरे लोग जुड़ते चले गए. एंड टुडे आई एम रियली थैंकफुल टू ऑल दी गुरु परिवार, all the sangha that I have here in US, and they are really, really awesome people, so cheerful people. Now, what happened after I arrived in US, my consulting firm started pressurizing me to quickly take up a job. And I tried all the methods, I tried here and there, but all my efforts went in vain. And finally, one day, my consulting firm informs me that if I don't get a job in 60 days, they'll deport me and my family back to India, and hence all would be back to square one again. So बहुत ही ये डिप्रेसिंग स्टेटमेंट था, और हमने कहा अभी तो हम पूरी लाइफ वहाँ हम इंडिया से ऐसी सब कुछ खत्म हो गया वहां से जब हम आए हैं यहाँ पे, और अब ये लोग ऐसा कह रहे हैं फिर से 60 डेज में वापस. तो बहुत ही सैड न्यूज थी हम लोगों के लिए, पूरी फैमिली के लिए. So anyway, with Guruji's blessings, I managed to get a small project and to start with. And it was hardly, I would say 1.5 months that the project got shelved, because Guruji had much, much better plans for me. In the meantime, I was interviewed by a company whose location was quite far from where I was actually staying currently. That is, when we arrived to US, I was with my brother and his family. And because of that interview, I got selected and everything was good to go. And these guys, urged me to quickly shift to the new location. And then we leased a new house, or, sab kuch humne shift kar liya. So, we moved. In fact, I still remember that day. We moved to that new location on 25th of June 2018, and I was supposed to start the new job on 28th of June. Now, Sangat ji, believe me or not, I would, please note that the new area where Guruji made us move was one of the poshest locations of CA, California. And then, one had to have a real good salary to support the living there. As I mentioned, I had lost my previous project and I got selected for this new job profile. I had to move to that location. But what happened was, surprisingly, I never got a chance to join the new company. And can you imagine, I was surviving on the bench rate, which was almost, slashed to half that I was being paid earlier. And that phase for us was a complete blessing of Guruji. I had no clue how all my living expenses were met with such a minimal salary. Rent was being taken care of, fooding, lodging, everything. Guruji was taking care of. कभी किसी चीज की कमी ही नहीं होने दी. इतनी छोटी सी सैलरी में मुझे समझ नहीं आता वो कैसे हुआ, बट वो ऐसे हुआ कि हमारे गुरुजी हमें ब्लेस कर रहे थे. इनफैक्ट he pampered me just like a father would do to his children. And जैसे हाथ पे रखते हैं ना, वो फीलिंग रहती थी मुझे हमेशा. किसी भी चीज की कमी नहीं होने दी गुरुजी ने. And the reason of calling us away from my brother's house to a new location was because Guruji wanted to I mean, he was working on cleansing our karmas. So I would like to mention an integral part of my life here. My lovely auntie, my mentor, my elder sister, I would say. She's an epitome of love. Every Thursday, she used to organize satsangs and we would be there without fail. मेरे कर्म कट रहे थे, you know. And eventually I chose a consulting firm who then, again it was a new one, not the one that had actually sponsored my visa from India. This was a new firm. ये भी एक गुरुजी की blessing ही थी. पता नहीं कहाँ से वो नाम आया, कहीं से reference होते होते मेरे तक पहुंचा. We spoke to them and then they agreed to re-sponsor my visa and you know, कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि जैसे सितंबर में एक्सपायर हो रहा था मेरा वीजा and it got approved just 2 days prior to the expiration date. It was a big relief for us. And then finally I bagged a stable job with a Fortune 10, I would say, company. It's not even Fortune 500 company. It's rated amongst the top 10 companies. And I joined a day prior to my birthday, 6th September 2018. My birthday comes on 7th of September and I took it as a complete blessing for us. 6th September को मैंने joining करी उस you know, company में. And then I was enjoying, you know, all my new job. Everything was going fine. I was learning. And when suddenly what happened, my project manager goofed up with things and that project also got shelved. And I was asked to leave in a week's house. Now, as my manager told me to leave within a week's time, within a week's time, my world shattered. Why? Because I had, you know, bought a brand new Accord, that too with Guruji's blessing. उसका भी एक सत्संग मैं अभी आपको shortly share करती हूँ. और and I had to run my family with no other support from elsewhere because my hubby and my kid were on dependent visa. Plus H1Bs, the most important part is the H1B visa holders cannot stay without a project. And well, you know, my loving guru, he had planned yet another and probably the final move for me. So I managed to get a nice project in another department in the same company. And that has continued till date. Jai Guruji. Now, talking about my car satsang, you know, it so happened that while we were searching for my job and when we were planning to buy a car, we were evaluating various options of second-hand cars and, you know, any other options available. But then Guruji gave me, you know, he often used to give me the messages like, जल्दबाजी में कोई भी काम नहीं करना, you know, कोई भी decision नहीं लेना, सोच समझ के करो, blah, blah, blah. Now, you know, like he says, जहाँ हमारी, like, you know, like we say that, you know, जहाँ हमारी सोच खत्म होती है, वहाँ उनका काम शुरू होता है. So where we would have ended up buying a second-hand Khatara, he blessed us with a brand new Accord, which was again my dream car ever since I was a kid. So ऐसे तो हैं हमारे गुरुजी, you know, he continuously blesses us and आपको सोचने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, अपना दिमाग ही नहीं लगाना है कि कैसे होगा. He will, you know, he will show you the path. All you need to do is to just follow him with, you know, all blind faith, I would say. Now, another satsang I would like to share. Guruji saves me from a disastrous accident and helped me to get my license after a lot of training and practice, after a lot of efforts. So, you know, I kept on giving license, you know, driving license exams here, but I failed miserably. Twice, thrice. Money got wasted every time. क्योंकि मेरी अभी नई जॉब थी और you know, वो लगता था, मुझे खल जाता था कि मैं एक कुछ आवर्स के लिए ट्रेनर हायर करती थी और ये हमेशा 2-3 बार से ऐसा हो गया कि वीजा ही नहीं मिलता था, लाइसेंस ही नहीं मिलता था. And although at the same time, I had been driving in India for about 12 years, but, यहाँ आके सारा ही उल्टा था. So, in the meantime, one day I dreamt that I was chased by several goons, gangsters who were running after me, and one of them actually stabbed me with a sword, and he cut my hand. So with all, I saw that all blood was oozing out, and my cut hand, it was not even properly cut, it was like dangling from my body. And I would say it was a highly terrified, painful dream I ever had. The next day, as I was going on my way to the office, a cops charged me with several charges. Like, for example, he charged me of jumping the stop sign, and I was also, driving without the US driving license, although I had my India one, and also not yielding to another emergency vehicle. But I would say he did not at all allow me to move from my place, and I had to go back home. I later realized that maybe I was destined for a deadly accident that very day, as I had seen that dream a few days ago. And that's how, Guruji saved me. Now, the next tension was how to get rid of the traffic charges. Because, again, new job thi, new location thi, itni savings nahi thi, period. And then अब ये नया स्यापा आ गया था, कि चार्जेस इतने हैवी, और यूएस में तो बहुत, चार्जेस पेनल्टीज लगती हैं. तो एक ये भी टेंशन थी कि कैसे मैं उस, how would I deal with the heavy penalty, and also how would I savor my record as per the US DMV. So I started hunting for various advocates, but their fees and my penalty was a big debt. It was, I would say it was a big dent on my pocket. And I was kind of sad that, now what? But to my surprise, I received a call by some random lawyer. Maybe out of 50 calls I had made, one of them called me back. And within a month, I would like to emphasize, within a month, everything got resolved, and that too at a very, very minimal rate. I couldn't have ever imagined that. And that, by the way, was inclusive of all the charges and the advocate's fees. So that's how, Guruji saves you. He knows you in and out. आपको कुछ सोचने की जरूरत है ही नहीं. So, कहने का मतलब ये कि गुरुजी आपको, बुरे से बुरे समय में भी डालकर खुद ही आपको सपोर्ट करते हैं और सॉल्यूशंस भी देते हैं. Eventually the day arrived for my third attempt for giving the driving license exam. And we as in me and my husband, we got a wonderful trainer who trained us very well. Also, I would like to mention that the day of my exam, I saw a bunch of beautiful butterflies hovering and fluttering over that area. And that was an indication that today, for sure, me and my husband will be getting our driving licenses. And which really happened. We both passed with flying colors. And also to mention here, Guruji shows his presence by beautiful butterflies. And that's just one of his ways to bless us. There are other indications, like you get a rosy fragrance, or Om darshans, or Trishul darshans, and and so on and so forth. They are endless. All you need to do is to just keep your eyes and ears open to realize that yes, Guruji is with you. So this is this. And another one I remember, Guruji blessed me to open up my own venture. Sorry. I would like you all to recall what I stated at the onset of my satsang. You remember I mentioned that Guruji blessed me to open up my own venture. And also note that all the projects were related to healthcare, IT, and hence he was preparing me for the future, because he had plans to send me to US. Also, additionally, I would like to mention that ever since my first job in US, I have been into healthcare domain and with the same profile and similar projects that I've handled before. Whereas I had never ever had any interest in the IT field, and that all my work experiences in India prior to moving to US were strictly sales and marketing. And in today's date, I'm very fond of the work I do, and I try to learn and excel in my field. Then there was another prominent dream I saw that by the way, I have had thyroid problems since about 10 years now. So what I see in that dream, I saw 3 butterflies flying towards me. 3 descending order butterflies, and the smallest one enters into my throat, indicating towards my thyroid gland. When I got my thyroid tested, it was all in drains. Jai Guruji. By the way, I often see butterflies in both real life and in dreams. Similarly, I have had, borderline diabetes, because it's hereditary. And Guruji directed me to one of the other Sangats whose role in my life after reaching to US has been incomparable. She supported me through thick and thin and has helped me a lot in settling me out here. And it was she who was directed by Guruji, and she gave me the message to switch to Ayurveda and change the lifestyle, and which has really helped me in improving my blood sugar levels. Also to mention that in all my satsang that I attended in 2018 and 2019, Guruji cured my diabetes by having me eat jalebi, lots of jalebi in the prasad, and lots of meetha, I would say, be it in the form of cake, laddus, but majorly it was all jalebis. And one day I'm sure he will grant me the best of the health I know. Another satsang, another health related satsang. Since childhood, I'm very fond of singing. Music is in my soul, I would say. However, since a few years, I've been noticing that when I sing, the rag snaps in between because of the shortness of breath, which was never the case before. Now, one day, again, I dream of something very unusual. I see that I'm lying on a bed. Guruji comes to me with a small stool, or I would say side table, a small mini table, and he places it on my chest. Now, as he's approaching me, I had 2 thoughts in my mind. One was, oh my God, I become so greedy to touch him and feel his hands because, his skin, his face was so shiny. वो इतने सुंदर हैं, हमारे गुरुजी महाराज इतने सुंदर हैं कि उनकी सुंदरता का वर्णन मैं नहीं, शब्दों में नहीं किया जा सकता. And his hands were milky white, his skin was shining, his face had so much aura, it was so graceful. So when I try to grab his hand, he points me to be just, quiet and just focus on the table that is being laid on my chest. The other thought that passes my mind is that, oh my God, when the table is being kept on my chest, it'll pain a lot because Guruji was applying a lot of pressure from the top. But I was continuously chanting, Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji. And I was also thinking that जो भी गुरुजी करेंगे वो उसमें मेरी कुछ भलाई है, तो वो दर्द भी देंगे तो भी हम हंस के सहेंगे टाइप्स और दर्द देने की शक्ति भी वो ही देते हैं, by the way. And I embraced the pain. I embraced it when it was done, when I was done with that seva in my dream. Seva as in to just keep quiet and just bear with the fact that the stool was on my chest. I got up from my bed, to go and meet him and tell him that, see, whatever you had asked me to do, I've done it. But I could not find him. I just see his asan, which was a sofa, lying in the room. Next morning, when I got up, I realized that Guruji had surely cured me of some underlying medical condition, and maybe had averted some of the medical condition that was supposed to be erupting in the future. So, Sangat ji, Guruji actually cures you in dreams too. कितने कल्याण तो वो यूं ही कर देते हैं जो हमें पता भी नहीं चलते. उनकी लीला बस वो ही जानते हैं. सत्संग्स तो बहुत हैं, बड़े छोटे, related to me, my family, but I would like to mention something that once you are in Guruji's Sharan, you don't have to worry about anything. He regulates your life, and nothing, mind you, nothing is by chance. जब हर एक पत्ता उनकी मर्जी से हिलता है तो हम तो इंसान है ना, तो सोचने की जरूरत ही नहीं. यू डोंट हैव टू यूज योर ब्रेन. ऑल आई वुड से दैट जितनी जल्दी गुरु जी ने मुझे इन 2 साल में ब्लेस किया, प्रॉस्पर किया, इतनी एक्सपीडिटेड डेवलपमेंट, आई थिंक शायद ही किसी को उन्होंने ब्लेस किया होगा ऐसे. बट आई ट्रूली एम थैंकफुल टू गुरु जी कि उन्होंने मेरा साथ दिया. कभी भी किसी चीज की कमी नहीं होने दी, किसी के आगे झुकने नहीं दिया, मांगने की नौबत नहीं आई उनसे. वो देने में कमी नहीं रखते, मैं विश्वास में कमी नहीं रखती. मुझे आज भी याद है कि जब मैं यूएस आई थी 2018 में, मैं बहुत ट्रॉमेटाइज थी. आई हैड लॉस्ट कॉन्फिडेंस, फेलियर्स इतने देखे थे, स्ट्रगल बहुत देखी थी. माई हैप्पी गो लकी नेचर हैड गॉट कन्वर्टेड टू अ इरिटेटेड, गुस्सा वाला नेचर. आई वॉज नेवर लाइक दैट. मैं तो इतना हंसती रहती थी. I had lost all, I mean, just imagine, I had lost my uncle, my father within a span of 6 months. Job गई, इतना, इतनी प्रॉब्लम्स कितनी थी, I would say. तो मैं इतने ट्रॉमा से उभर के आई. तो बस मुझे एक ही मैसेज गुरुजी अक्सर दिखाया करते थे कि अगर गुरुजी आपसे वो ले सकते हैं या वो ले लेते हैं जिसकी आप कल्पना नहीं कर सकते, तो गुरुजी will replace the loss with something that is totally out of your imagination. और वो ही हुआ. धीरे धीरे मेरी लाइफ ट्रैक पे आती गई. मैं वापस पहले वाली बिंदास प्रीति बन गई, और जिसे कोई टेंशन नहीं रहती थी. और मुझे अपने पूर्ण गुरु पे अटूट विश्वास है. I draw my strength from him. And merely by doing Simran, Seva and Satsang, I, draw my strength from him. Not to miss that just by doing mantra jap, you can get rid of so many diseases, or I would say any kind of adverse situations that you are dealing with. You can actually, fill yourself up with a lot of positivity. गुरुजी से जुड़ने के बाद जैसे मेरी लाइफ स्ट्रीमलाइन हो गई है. जीने का सलीका सिखाया मेरे गुरु ने. हर हाल में शुक्राना अदा करना सिखाया, खुश रहना सिखाया गुरुजी ने. उससे पहले लाइफ एक डायरेक्शनलेस थी, आई वुड से, और हर चीज में शिकायतें रहती थी. ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है, ऐसे नहीं है, वैसे नहीं, काश ऐसा होता. अभी क्या है, वो you have that sense of contentment. A new exciting life, I would say, full of miracles, is one that you can expect in Guruji's lotus feet. वो literally ऐश कराते हैं, literally. गुरुजी खुद महाशिव हैं, और इसका भी पता लगा एक ड्रीम में मुझे. Now what I see, that I am in a house, and on a wall there are 2 masquerade masks that are hanging adjacent to each other. One was probably representing Shakti or goddess Parvati. I don't remember exactly. But what I prominently remember is that the other one was Lord Shiva. It was blue in color, again Neelkant, with all, he had he had permed wavy hair and big eyes. And suddenly that mask says in Punjabi, Assi Shiv, Mahashiv. And I was thrilled. I still have goosebumps when I'm saying this satsang. Jai Guruji. Now, another satsang during these COVID times, I would like to share. Due to the lockdown, all the sangats started doing satsangs in the houses. In one of those satsangs, just at the onset of COVID, this was immediately when the COVID had started. While I was in my dhyan state, Guruji showed me a vision. What I saw a huge Shivji idol on an elevated platform which is facing the ocean. And I could just see his back with long wavy curled tresses and a Rudraksh Baju Band on his left arm. Shivji's body color was light grayish blue, and just next to him I saw a cloud of particles, just like suspended small dot-like particles in the air, and I see Lord Shiva displacing those particles with his hair from left to right, right to left, just like a pendulum. And after that, I see a shivling out of the ocean water that emerges out of the ocean water. Again, the shivling was grayish blue in color. I interpreted that vision like as if, Guruji was removing the COVID virus, which was represented as particles in the air by his long hair. And he blesses the world by showing the emergence of shivling from the ocean. Additionally, would like to mention that those particles or virus was stationary at that time, and only Shivji's hair was dangling. Okay. Now, immediately after a few satsangs, as in that was done, that was over that day. After a few days or few weeks, I again had a vision. Now this time what I see is, I see a cloud of those suspended particles, and which was again probably the virus. Now, the thing to be noted is, earlier when I saw those particles, they were all stationary. This time they were all moving. They were in a motion state, like dancing in the air. As if when I saw earlier, Guruji or Shivji was removing it, and now it was in the going stages, or I would say, it's getting better. So one day I'm sure the world will start living again, and the world will heal and get rid of this deadly thing. Shukrana, Guruji. One last satsang I would like to narrate. I dream that I am somewhere and I feel pukish. Suddenly I start puking, and out of my mouth comes out hair ruffle, paper, jewelry pouch, CD, documents, and in one of the documents it was written Jai Guruji. This dream indicated me of the fact that Guruji is removing all negativity, or I would say materialism, out of me, and I am heading towards a better, peaceful spiritual life. बस गुरुजी से ये प्रेयर है मेरी कि ऐसे ही अपने चरणों से लगाए रखें और सबका भला होए. गुरुजी, इस पूरे नरेशन में कहीं मुझसे कहीं भूल चूक हो गई हो तो प्लीज मुझे माफ करना, और बस हमें ऐसे ब्लेस करें कि हम वो बन जाएं जो आप जैसा चाहते हैं, और हमारे सारे अवगुण ले. जय गुरुजी, शुक्राना गुरुजी, धन धन गुरुजी.